Hello everybody, this is Zackster99. Now in this video I have a haunting story. A story that personally chills me to the bone when I think about it. And I want you guys right now, I plead everybody that watches this, especially if you live in the United States, Canada, to please share this video, put it on your Facebook, in hopes that somebody that knows something can bring some resolution to a case that's going on for more than 5 years now, almost 6 years. A family, a mother of a 16-year-old kid, this kid right here that you see, has been missing since August of 2009. And what might have happened to him is horrifying. I know the gentleman that he took in as a father figure. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a news story here. I'll have the link to this story down below if you want to watch it again. If you want to go to that website and look it up, I'll have some other links to information below this video. But the biggest thing that I know is if you know anything, even if you think you might have a hunch about who this kid is, to please call the Nampa Idaho Police Department. I'll have a number on the screen. Please call the number. The number will also be listed in the description below to call. I'll have links for more information if you need that. But I am begging that you guys, even if you don't know anything about this, not to leave your comments below. I mean, you can certainly do that, but to share this video. Share this video on your Facebook, share this video on your website, share this video in hopes that somebody that knows something will see it and finally maybe be able to give the police here enough clues to wrap this up and give a devastated mother some resolution, or perhaps her son back. So I'm going to go ahead and play this news story. This news story aired, I guess, last month on my local news station here in the Idaho area. But here it is.
Nampa teenager vanishes without a trace.
Police baffled, a mother desperate for answers. Here's Karen Lair now with a case some call mind-boggling.
Zackery Brewer was your average normal teenager. Liked to play basketball, had a lot of friends, was a good-looking kid. The one thing missing in his life, a father figure. His single mom, struggling to raise Zach on her own, relieved when her friend Javier Aguilar comes forward offering to help.
He came across very kind and gentle-hearted and genuinely cared about you.
Javier even let Zach move in with him. For months, things go well. Until shortly after midnight, August 22nd, 2009. Zach arrives at his mom's doorstep, troubled. Something's wrong. Something he doesn't want to talk about.
And I was so close to him, I could see his face, you know, and his so chiseled features, you know, and I was so close to him. And yet, he just, I don't think he planned on leaving like that, but I think once he started in motion, he was on a mission. And he just walked into the darkness and vanished.
Police classify Zach as a runaway. After all, he left on his own. But then, a bizarre twist. Turns out Javier Aguilar is far from the good father figure everyone thought.
This person was such a good person, you know. They fooled everyone. I mean, he lied and deceived everyone.
Police arrest Javier for sex abuse of 3 young boys, leaving Zach's mother devastated.
I would have never let my son go there if I didn't trust him. I trusted him with my children.
Zach did disclose some things, and it was very difficult for him. And in the situation that he was in with Javier, I mean, he cared for him because Javier was an SOB, and he was good at what he did, and that's how he manipulated him. So Zach thought he was really, you know, stabbing him in the back.
Javier is convicted, sent to prison. Then, another twist. A guard finds Javier dead in his cell. Police have suspicions, but no proof.
Javier might have something to do with his disappearance, and something malicious might have happened.
Leaving Zach's mother haunted by her intuition.
I knew right when he vanished into the darkness, I knew that was it. I knew I'd never see him again.
And desperate for answers.
Where is he? Is he safe? Is he alive? I don't know that. And I have nothing to, keep me going but my faith. So I have to. I have to just keep going because I have another son. And I got to be there for him too.
Now, 6 years later, all leads gone, just like Zackery Brewer.
And we have nothing. There's nothing to go on. There's no leads, there's nothing. He just disappeared.
Karen Lair, Idaho on your side.
Such a strange story and so rough for that mother. If you know anything about Zach's disappearance, call the Nampa Police Department or Crime Stoppers at 343-COPS, and the hope is that there maybe is still a possibility he's out there.
Something.
Now, this is where it gets scary. This house right here that I'm showing you right now in Nampa, Idaho, was a house that my wife and I rented back in the fall of 2009. We had been looking for a house to rent for some time, had a few houses fall through, and met the couple that owned this house on a late evening, maybe 8 or 9 o'clock at night, to look at the house. And the house was really nice. It was the right price. And the owner of the house was Javier Aguilar, the same guy that played the father figure to Zackery Brewer, and molested 3 children back between the years of 2000 through 2005. We didn't know any of that at the time, of course, and we shook his hand. Javier Aguilar was obviously Hispanic, was married to a red-haired, pale-skinned woman, very friendly as well. We liked both of them immediately, and we thought Javier was a really nice guy. And we went ahead and closed the deal, offered to pay, the rent and deposit and everything needed to move in and help them, clean up the house. They were telling us that they were exhausted. They were cleaning the house to try to rent it again after somebody had messed it up and not paid rent. This is the house in here with our furniture in it. We actually stayed at this bedroom right here that I just showed you. Really big master bedroom. It was a really nice house. We really loved the house when we moved in the fall of 2009. Again, more pictures of the interior of the house when we lived there. Our dog there on the couch, and our kids slept on the other side of the house from our bedroom. The other 2 bedrooms were on the other side of the house. That's where their 2 bedrooms were. Here's the kitchen, and here is our daughter at the time that we actually lived there, and here is our son, 4 years old, at the time that we lived there. What's scary about this is that this guy had preyed on young boys, 3 young boys, molestation in this home. We later found out that he molested these boys between the year 2000 and 2005 in the same home we were renting. Now, we didn't know this at the time, but when we found out in July of 2010, we packed our things immediately and found a house to move into really, really fast. And we moved like in 1 weekend. We were out of there. It surprised us. It creeped us out to think that we had been sleeping in the same bedroom that he probably molested these 3 young boys in 5 years before, 5, 6, 7 years before. And things really started to get weird. We moved in, I believe, in October of 2009, and things were fine the first 5 or 6 months. But February, March sometime, there was a knock at the door. There was cop cars outside the house. And policemen were actually looking for the landlord, Javier Aguilar. They were asking if he was there because it was his home, so I assume they thought he might be there. They had no idea that he was renting the house out. We had to tell the officers that we're just his tenants, we're renting the house. And of course they believed us and said thank you and left. Wasn't that much longer. I was actually working. Got a phone call from my wife on a break, or called my wife on a break, and she had told me that a detective had come by knocking, looking for a Zach, who evidently a Zach that was Javier's son. Now, he did have a son, I believe, named Zach as well, from what I understand. I could be wrong, it could be mistaken. I tend to think now, looking at it, because we had never heard about anything about the Zackery Brewer until just recently, until yesterday. We had no idea about that. The only thing we knew about was the 3 boys back before 2005 that he had molested. This is haunting news that just came to surface that we found out about just recently. But now that I look back at it, I wonder if the detective wasn't looking for Zackery Brewer, because that would have been in the spring of 2010. That would make sense. Maybe he had said to my wife, you know, he was like a son to your landlord, and we're looking for him. And maybe she just mistook what he said as his son, or maybe there was a mistake in the communication there. I don't know. But that would make a lot more sense, that detectives and policemen would be looking for the Zackery Brewer. And I believe she got 2 visits by a detective, either 2 detectives or 2 cops, while I was working. And then it all boiled up. We didn't really think anything of it. We told, the tenant, we told his wife, who was really upset that, they were coming and bugging us while we were, about it and looking for them and looking for answers and stuff like that. She didn't believe any of it. She thought it was all, the whole molestation thing was just ex-girlfriends of his trying to cause trouble. Because she had married him and, they were trying to get some sick revenge or whatever. She didn't believe it at all. And, it was kind of hard for us to believe, too, because Javier, our landlord, seemed like a super, super nice guy. But it was kind of weird, getting all these visits, stuff like that. Finally, in July of 2010 is when we found out that there was a court case, read on the news, that Javier had been sentenced to 21 years, 7 years each for each of the 3 boys that he had molested before. So he was going to prison, and at that point, that's when we moved out. But to me, it is horrifying looking back at it now, finding out now that he was not only a child molester, but that he might be responsible for the possible death for this missing teenager, Zackery Brewer, who took him in as a father. Horrifying to think that we were renting the house of this guy. I mean, this was his house. He could have unlocked the door in the middle of the night and snuck in and snagged our boy or our daughter. We would have woke up the next morning, been horrified with a missing son, and the last place at the time that I would have thought to think about looking was at our landlord, who seemed like the nicest guy in the world. I would have been looking every direction but him. And I am grateful now that nothing like that ever happened. So what you're seeing now is actually a Facebook post that my wife happened to come across on May the 3rd of 2015, and she woke me up and showed me. She's like, hey, look who's in the news again. Look who's got more information about him. And I kind of woke up and I looked at this picture here, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And for whatever reason, for the first time, when I saw his face, even before she told me anything else that, that we knew about or that she found out about, it just sent chills down my spine looking at his face, and I don't know why. But she goes on to tell me, and I wake up and start looking into it and start finding out just yesterday morning about the Zackery Brewer kid, as you saw in the news story that I showed you earlier. 16 years old in August of 2009. He just recently turned 22. So obviously that's why I'm making this video, guys, is because I am looking to see if anybody out there has any information that can help the police here, put this all together and get some kind of resolution, or, help this poor mother, find answers that she's looking for desperately. Maybe he's still alive. My fear is that this Javier Aguilar did something really awful to him, because maybe Zackery Brewer ratted him out, and maybe Zackery Brewer is the reason he ended up getting convicted. Something happened. Something awful happened, and that's my feeling. But the poor mother there needs answers. This needs to be resolved. It's been almost 6 years now, and this is a horrifying, sad story. It makes me sick to think that I shook this guy's hand, paid him rent, and thought that he was a great guy, this Javier Aguilar. So I will have plenty of links, like I said, down below, but the best thing you can do, rather, you can certainly leave comments down below if you want to, and all that, but the biggest thing I'm asking for people to do is not to rate my video or leave comments or anything like that. I want this video shared so that maybe somebody can step forward and get some resolution to this, all the mysteries that still are here. Where is Zach? Where is Zackery Brewer? What happened to him? Is he still alive? Is he still out there? So if, by God, if you're Zackery Brewer, if you know him, please contact the police that I have flashed up here on the screen. Please help this mother out, this family of Zackery Brewer, because he has a younger brother as well. When I think about knowing this guy and living in his house with my young boy, it gives me chill bumps to think what might have happened. And I can't even imagine the pain that this poor lady, this poor mother of Zackery Brewer has went through, his whole family has went through since he's went missing back in 2009. So that is the whole reason for this video. That's why I ask that you share it, why you go ahead and, you know, in hopes that somebody knows something. Anyway, feel free to comment, feel free to rate. Mainly, please share this video on your, you know, your Facebook, your websites and everything. I want to thank you guys for watching. This has been Zackster99, and we'll see you in the next video. Please take care, everybody.